supposed to record an intro right now, but this is just way cuter. Oh, sorry. No welcome here. The dog and the cat should have taken care of that though. I'm Kira. This is my channel. This is my first ever YouTube video, and I like to do stuff. When I started YouTube, or thought about starting YouTube, my next thought was, I kind of want an intro sequence. I'm gonna animate an intro sequence, and I'm gonna record the sound effects myself too. I've never animated. I've never shot a YouTube video before. I've never recorded sound effects. A lot of first times and a kind of meta video. Welcome to my channel. First, I'm gonna push you over to a speed draw, and then afterwards we're gonna go around my house and garden in order to find the right sounds. And I hope you like what you see in the end of this video, because that's when I'll first preview my intro sequence, which is hopefully gonna play in a lot of videos in the future. Welcome to this episode of I have no idea what the heck I am doing. Anyway, I watched a few tutorials, and to start my animation I started with a sketch, which I did on paper first, and then I did a very quick sketch in Photoshop because I didn't feel like taking out my scanner and connecting it to the computer and all of that jazz. So I imported the drawing into Adobe Animate and simply just used the pen tool to trace everything in parts. I will later take those parts and put them together as symbols, so-called. So in the end I was actually able, which proved to be very useful, to just pull out the legs or just pull out the head of one of the drawings and stick it onto the other drawing. I actually used that. Super helpful. It is kind of weird though to try and draw the whole thing in singular little pieces and then put them on their own layers and try putting them together. Oh, with this piece of wood I had so much fun with the texture. It didn't take very long, but it was so much fun to just draw some squiggly lines and smoothen them in the program and see, whoa, they actually look like wood texture now. I did a lot of work double actually. Right now I'm starting to put together my arm and hand there where I'm going to hammer, and in a bit I'm probably gonna start to rig the arm. Oh yeah, the wood here. You saw that the wood just did a front and back thing. I had quite the time with having to have my hand, which was behind the body, to be in front of the wood, which should be in front of the body, which was in front of the arm, which was in front of the wood, which was in front of the body. So I ended up first splitting the wood in half and then putting the front part of the wood in one layer and the back part of the wood in another layer. Later on, when reworking pretty much all of this bit by bit, I found a better solution, namely to redo the right arm and put the arm in front of the dress. But honestly, that was kind of weird with the wood, which was both behind and in front of the body. I don't know if there's a good solution to that, so if any of you have a great solution to that, I'd be interested in hearing it, because this was definitely not the last time I animated. I had way too much fun for this to be the last time I animated something. Next time I might go with not using vector shapes though, and just do a simple onion skin hand-drawn animation, because I haven't tried that before. The vectors, I mean, they were nice to work with. I've worked with vectors before. They're scalable, which is the best thing, and the main reason I worked with them. And you can get Animate to give you the in-betweens. So you put the vector shape, and you saw with the arm, it had bones in it. Those green lines were the bones I defined. And then the program just actually manipulated the picture of the arm. Animate just has some bugs with it still, that at some points the fill, so the color of the arm, would just vanish for a frame. I found some workarounds and deleted some singular frames and stuff like that. So in the end I got it to work, but it was really annoying because there didn't seem to be any fix. Now I'm currently working on the second part of the animation, because when you hammer down a nail and it gets all twisty and bendy, well, that happened. It's probably gonna happen to me a lot in the future when I work with wood, because I tend to feel overconfident and just hammer down and kind of bend up the nails. So first I had her do this little shrug action that you see here. Oh yeah, blinking. I realized blinking is important. If you want your character to look more alive, make it blink. It's the best trick to make your character come to life. Just a few blinks here and there. I didn't even do half-lidded in between frames. I literally just put in some frames with the blinks and then the open eyes again, and that was it. The nail, putting the green color on there, that was annoying because gradients, man. Also, I felt like the color wasn't as visible as I would like to have it, but I think that's gonna be alright after I add the sound effects, and you can see the color go up the stalk, but it's not so important that you actually see it, because you have the sound effect and the leaves do plop plop, and then the flower does a or something like that. Also, you're gonna see in a bit, I added some head movement. The character is going to look at the flower. That's another good trick if you want a person to, or an audience to look a certain direction. You just make a character look or point that direction, because we're humans, and as humans we have a tendency to just look the same direction as others do and try to see, what are you looking at there? A funny thing is, sometimes it works with animals too. When I want to pull my dog's leg, not literally, but take the piss, I sometimes just go really, really stiff and look in one direction, and my dog's like, oh, what's happening over there? At this point in the drawing process, I decided I need some kind of background, so I whipped up a quick table and a window, some outside kind of stuff. I still don't know if I'm actually happy with all of the background, or what little background there is. No, actually, I am happy with the background there is. I'm just not very happy with how little background there is. So I may add something, I may also just not. But for now, it's just gonna be like that. Also, I had a friend give me some really valuable feedback on this. By the way, the friend is also my editor. Big thanks to him. Shout out to him. He is so nice, and he was so scared of actually giving me honest feedback at first because he didn't want to hurt my feelings. but honestly, every little thing of feedback he gave me was absolutely valuable. Like he said, told me to make a bit more of an elbow in the left arm and to make the motion of the right arm be different. Also, he taught me to add those little extra nails and kind of make the wood jump a little and make those extra little nails jump, just to give the whole thing a bit more weight. Here I'm playing with or making shadows. I had already made shadow on the first nail. It just lacked, or shadow under the first nail I should say, because the nail itself lacked any lighting. So here I'm just going through the entire animation and putting lighting on whatever needs more lighting, and adding another nail there, because more nails the more better. I'm making them jump, and yeah, we're nearing the end here. Oh, also the hammer, when I first animated the hammer flying out of the picture, it was kind of very floaty and soft and slow. So it did not exactly float. It floated. It did not fly out of the picture like I had just thrown it. It just floated ever so gently out. The final tip my friend gave me was to add a bit of extra movement in the head or body. I didn't really feel like adding movement to the head, but the body got a bit of... Oh, I'm sorry. I slept too little last night. The body got some breathing and some movement while she's hammering. And actually that's about it. That's the entire animation right there. And see you in a bit for sound effects.
Okay, great. Animation is done, but we still need sounds because right now it's hella boring. We need a hammering sound, we need some kind of whoop when the flower is growing, we need a kind of plop plop pling when the leaves and the little flower head grows pop open. So I'm going to take my little microphone here and have a walk around the house and garden. So, as you can see, I am not outside. I am not collecting any sounds outside. I collected 3 sounds, realized that things just don't sound like you expect them to sound. I hit a nail with a hammer and it sounded completely wrong. So, I'm going to do all of these sounds with my mouth. Okay, let's start making some weird noises. This is gonna be fun and awkward. Tuk, 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 tuk. Ah, ah, ah. I'm going to look through this audio. I don't know if I have to record more. So I'll see you right over there with the finished product in just a moment. The moment of truth has arrived. Will it intro? Or in other words, I'm done. I'm actually pretty happy with the sequence. Surprisingly happy, thinking that I had to listen to my own voice in the recordings for the intro sounds. I think it went quite well actually. So I'd be glad if you do all the YouTube things. I won't insult your intelligence by telling you what they are. You know that best yourselves. And I hope to see you in the next video. Now, enjoy my little intro sequence.